it's Joel and welcome back to the channel. This afternoon actually, it's a very sunny Sunday afternoon, and as you may have seen on the channel already, my friend Charlie bought himself an E89 30i. That now completes basically my closest friend group, and my family all now have Z4s. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this video isn't about that. This video is going to be a sort of a look at and a comparison on how this car fares up or matches up with my E85 3 litre. This is also the 30i, so it's the 3 litre. I think this one produces around 260 brake horsepower, so I think it's similar to the engine you can find in the SIs. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's start her up now and go for a little drive, and we can, I can sort of talk to you about how this compares. So, this 30i is the sDrive. It's not a manual, so that is obviously the first difference to my Z4. It's the same gearbox I think that Ben Rain has got in his 35i s, which I thought was very good. However, this one's got a sort of outdated gear selector. But I think it's much the same other than that. This is a 6-speed, and yeah, just pottering along now in a car park in D. It's very civilised. It shifts nicely, nice and smooth. There's no jolting. But what we really want to do is have it in manual mode and Sport Plus and see what this car can actually do on the road. So then it picks up nicely. I think performance-wise, this is about the same as my Z4. Obviously, this is slightly up on power. However, it's a bit heavier. So, from what I can tell, the acceleration is about the same. Top speed, I know, is about the same. It's limited to 155. I don't know what the 0 to 60 stats are claimed as, but I think, again, it's probably around the 6-second mark, which is what my E85 Z4 is supposed to do. The steering on this one, I don't remember it being the case in Ben's 35i s, but it actually feels really tight. It feels really, the rack feels quite heavy, and that's really nice for throwing it into corners on a road like this. I don't remember it being that way on Ben's one. I actually remember it being a little bit loose and less sort of, it had less feel, but this has quite a lot of feel, which is pleasantly surprising, because, you know, you actually feel very connected to the front wheels of the car. What about the sound then? Well, it's obviously a very refined car, and nothing has been done to the exhaust on this one, so you can hear the exhaust. It's probably similar to what my E85 Z4 would have been before I removed the back box when it was stock. It's not loud at all, but you do still have that nice 6-cylinder sound that you can hear behind you. So you do still have that nice sort of fizzy sound at the top of the rev range, which I remember my car having before I removed the back box. So it does sound really good. I just think it could be a little bit louder. However, having said that, when I put it into 6th gear and we're at 50 miles per hour, the engine exhaust sound is non-existent. It's very, very, very refined and very quiet, and actually very comfortable to drive. I've got my heated seats on, and obviously this being a hardtop convertible, it is a lot quieter and you don't hear as much road noise. We'll get onto that in a moment though, because you can in fact in this car put the roof down whilst you're moving. In my car you have to be completely stopped to get the roof down, although once you've started it and if you creep forward a little bit, it does allow you to carry on moving the roof. However, this one I think you can actually go up to about 5 miles per hour or so before the roof will stop going up or down. So once we slow down in some traffic in a moment, we'll give that a go, and I'd imagine the car sounds a bit nicer once we do that as well. So conveniently guys, we've come up to a red light here, so let's see how long it takes for this roof to go down. Will it be quick enough so that I don't have to it's not looking good. Luckily there's no one behind me, so I can continue to crawl. But there we go. Is it? How do I know when it's fully done?
Windows.
There we go. Look, roof off. And how does it sound? Yeah. Already there's a lot more of noise once the roof is off, as you might expect. certainly not as loud as my car, obviously, but it's certainly not as loud as Ben's 30i s. That has quite a lot of sort of upshift farts, whereas this one just shifts smoothly without too much of a racket. But these shifts are really good. It gets into gear very fast in Sport Plus mode. I have to say, it's a perfectly good gearbox. I wouldn't actually be put off from having a DCT, one of these cars. I probably would sway towards having one of these over the manual, just because of how much of a cruiser and comfort car this is. It's very nice to have that automatic option. I can just pop it into D and just wallow along. Got no cup holders, so I can hold my coffee instead of having to worry about changing gear. And yeah, it's a very good gearbox, and it sounds actually really nice with the roof off. Back into manual, through a little tunnel here. I would say, transitioning into this from my E85, you don't actually lose too much of that rawness, although this is a lot more refined, because it's got that quite heavy steering, and it's still quite a good throttle response, still nice and weighty. You do still feel very connected to the car, and I wouldn't say, yeah, you're too disconnected from it. Obviously the E85 is a lot more bare bones. You've got a manual. There's not really much sound deadening. It's so loud, it's rattly. So you know, it's not quite as raw and visceral as my E85, but it does still definitely feel like a sports car, not just a complete sort of GT cruiser. So I actually really like it. I think it's quite a nice balance. I think if I was upgrading, it would make total sense to get an E89, because, like I say, you're still getting a lot of the perks that the E85 has. However, you're also getting the added bonus of a hardtop convertible, a nice gearbox, and just a lot quieter and smoother ride. So I have to say, guys, we've been playing a little bit with the modes here on this car, and I have to say the only one I really enjoy driving it in is Sport Plus. That's where the weighty steering is, and also the fast responding gearbox. Outside of those modes, it's a little bit more like I thought Ben's was, a bit wallowy, less connected, and actually quite lethargic on the gear changes. So that's sort of a shame, because in Sport Plus you're forced to have DSC off, which you might not always want, and you're also not able to use cruise control in Sport Plus. So it's a little bit annoying actually that you can't configure it a bit differently. But all in all, guys, I'm really impressed. And yeah, like I say, that for the price that you can get these things now, under 10 grand for a 30i, they're an absolute bargain, really, considering how refined they are, and how great they are to drive as well. So then, guys, all that's really left to say is thank you to the owner, Charlie, for chucking me the keys for the morning or the afternoon or whatever this is. It's lunchtime. For lunch. Thank you for chucking me the keys for lunch and letting me have a little drive of the E89. It's really good fun. It's a great car. I very much enjoyed it. And I would definitely look towards buying one of these if I was upgrading my Z4, but you know, that's not happening just yet. Yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up, and if we reach 200 likes, we'll do some more E89 content in the future. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this one, guys, and I will see you very, very soon.